back. Assassin's Bakery Podcast with your host, Joshua Goss, and my guest, Mr. James Platt. Today we're going to talk about what it's like working on Wall Street. So, Mr. Platt, when did you start working on Wall Street?
I started working on Wall Street in 2003. Moved out to New York I moved out to New York in August 2003, the day after the blackout. I got there, I got a job after about a month living there. Worked at the Associated Press for, I want to say 6 months, maybe 3 or 6 months, as a temp accountant, and then went on probably 40 interviews at all kinds of companies. I interviewed carpet companies and publishing companies and restaurants, modeling agencies, and eventually the only company that would hire me was a brokerage house on Wall Street called GFI Group.
What was the work atmosphere like working on Wall Street?
That was like my first professional job ever. I worked in like the office, the back office, and that was pretty tame, quiet. But we had a lot of brokers come through. All that stuff you see in the movies about brokers, it's all true. These guys are crazy. So we had a trading floor, and the first time they walked me on the trading floor, you just get out the elevator, it's just this rush of energy and loud noises and yelling and testosterone everywhere. The trading floor, I worked on the trading floor towards the second half of my time on Wall Street, and it was very, let's just say it was very animated. It was kind of like being in a frat house.
How long did you work on Wall Street?
I worked on Wall Street for 7-8 years, roughly 7-8 years. I worked 4 years on actual Wall Street, and then I worked like a year at one of the biggest investment banks in the world, and then that was actually in Brooklyn, and then I moved back to Wall Street to the original company I was working with for before that. So 7 years total, probably.
What did you enjoy the most, least about working at Wall Street?
The most was like in New York. I had a lot of friends in New York who worked like ungodly hours. On Wall Street, what happens is the markets open at 9 a.m. and they close at 4:30 p.m. That's it. So, I would leave literally every day at 5 on the dot. I would get there every day at 9 in the morning, right on the dot, and no one would ever say a word. So, one of the best things was that I never really had to work overtime. Another good thing was the money. Obviously, there was just a lot of money going around there. What I really didn't like, did you ask what I didn't like?
Yes.
Yeah, what I didn't like just staring at a computer all day. I really didn't like feeling like, so a lot of times I would have days that just I wasn't doing anything, and I remember every morning I would get off the train, and I would walk to the office at 100 Wall, and every day I would have to cross Broadway. And I don't know if you ever go to New York, but Broadway is pretty much the street that goes all the way from the bottom of Manhattan all the way to the top of Harlem. And it's almost like a straight cut through everything. And I remember just every day crossing Broadway and just looking up the street and just thinking, man, other places I could explore today, but here I am going into an office to sit behind a computer. And it was really like, after a while, it really started to wear on me. Like I just couldn't do a computer thing. I couldn't sit there.
Last and final question of this interview. What advice would you give to someone who is interested in pursuing a career working on Wall Street?
I don't know. I think, I guess just know what you're getting into. I don't even know if it's really not good advice, but just make sure you want to do it, I suppose. There's a lot of guys there who they get there and they turn into lifers. I know a lot of people who are trying to do good things. They were trying to find cures for diseases. They were trying to become doctors. They were trying to become engineers. And then they realized how difficult that stuff was and how easy it is to actually make money on Wall Street. And so they gave up those pursuits in order to work on Wall Street. And it was like, there's some real smart people there. I met my group in particular. I worked for a middle office group, and I remember just kind of looking around every once in a while and just seeing there was 15 different people from 15 different races, all sitting in a small little area. These are all smart people coming from Russia, from North India, from South India, from Mexico, from Latin America, from all these places. And it was just like, this is the cream of the crop who are coming out here, and they're really just coming here, and it's just super easy to make money on Wall Street. Wall Street, it's enticing, but if you want to stick it out there for a long time, make sure your morals can handle it. Mine couldn't. I felt like what I was doing was so pointless. I felt like it was all just pointless, and everything I was a part of was just legalized gambling. Was really what it was. I didn't like it. I didn't like it after that. It became tough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this portion of the interview on the Assassin's Bakery podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Joshua Goss, and my guest, Mr. James Platt. Thank you so much for your time and cooperation, sir.